Hello, my name is Angélica Ramsey and I serve as the Superintendent of Schools for Midland ISD, and I want to thank the Midland Retired Teachers Association for allowing me to share a little bit of time with you. Unfortunately, we weren't able to be together in person, but at least we have some time, and thank you very much for sending questions. I know the first question was to share a little bit about me. So I started my educational career in the Socorro Independent School District in El Paso, and I spent 11 years there where I served as a teacher, an athletic coach, a fine arts coordinator, an assistant principal, a principal, and then I went on to be a chief academic officer and an associate superintendent before I took on my first superintendency. This is my second superintendency, and I'm coming into my 6th year in that role. So we have a lot of changes that are actually still happening at the state level. As you're aware, we're in our second special legislative session. So we saw in the first one a lot of different things from HB 4545, which is probably the largest piece of legislation that affected school districts, that changed the amount of STAR and EOC testing, and as well as providing additional opportunities for whether we call it acceleration or tutorials for our students. Any student that failed their STAR or EOC, we must provide them 30 hours of acceleration per subject. So that was probably the most substantial for us. For this group, I would say the most substantial is that the TRS contribution to an employee who was a retire, rehire, that has changed. And so now school districts must pay that portion completely and not ask retire, rehires to pay that TRS portion. So exclusively during my first 90 days, I spent a lot of time listening to our community. We had stakeholder sessions both internally and externally. Every single employee in MISD had the opportunity to spend an hour with me to, in essence, answer 2 questions. The first one being, what do we do well in MISD? And then the second, how can we improve? And so that led to the creation of 5 priorities that can be found in the 90-day plan. The 5 priorities include accelerating academic achievement for our students, ensuring that everyone, both staff and our students, feel safe, welcome, and connected to our schools. We equitably align our resources, both our human capital and our finances, to make those 2 first priorities happen, ensuring that we're a premier employer. We're the largest one, but we want to be the best. And then the last one, I think, which is really dear to my heart, is that we continue to have 2-way communication with our internal and external stakeholders so that we can have a vision of ownership, collective ownership for our school district. I think a second piece is that we restructured parts of our district service center. In particular, we looked at what used to be called our academics branch. It is now intentionally called Learning, Leading, and Innovation. We're leading with the learning because we want to be student-centered. So in our new Learning, Leading, and Innovation branch, we have 2 groups by purple and maroon, and those 2 groups are helping provide services and support to our schools. And so really the restructure was all about efficiently staffing so that we can provide support to our schools. In order for Midland ISD to really turn around and go from a C district to the best school district in Texas, it's going to take each and every one of us banding together and to help our students. We need currently substitute teachers. We always need volunteers to read to students, to pull out small groups, and we always need just support in other areas. I would say that my challenge, not only for this group, but for every group, is to maintain positivity, to understand that when we say things about the school district, we're probably talking about our students and our teachers that work so hard. And so I always challenge everyone to stay positive, to be problem solvers, and to join our advisories. We have 5 advisories: a student advisory, a teacher advisory, a parent advisory, a support staff advisory, and a community advisory. And I welcome each and every one of you who wants to be a part of our community advisory so that we can problem solve together and improve our school district. Any changes in funding on our school district really comes out of the general fund. And so there isn't an additional amount of money we receive because employers have to contribute more for TRS. We just have to redistribute. So the pie stays the same, and we have to find ways to reduce costs in one area so that we can offset it and ensure that we do our part to make sure that TRS is fully funded so that not only our current retirees, but all of us who hope to retire someday are able to have the pension that we worked so hard for. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you for all the service that you provided to our students in our community here in Midland. Thank you for all of the questions you turned in. We're always available, and I hope that someday soon we'll have the opportunity to meet in person. Thank you.